Hello everyone, I'm Babla Jonathan and this is the 6 p.m. primetime newscast. You welcome on board. In our top stories, the far north region of Cameroon battles a cholera outbreak as rains heighten risk of new infections. Health authorities are intensifying surveillance and prevention efforts, warning that contaminated water, poor sanitation and displacement continue to drive the spread of the disease. Court denies bail to political activist Jacques Bertrand Mang as legal battle intensifies. His lawyers allege political interference in the prosecution while the high-profile case returns to court. WHO, the World Health Organization, launches trial of experimental Ebola treatments in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The study will evaluate 2 potential therapies for the rare Bundibugyo strain as health officials seek to curb an outbreak that has claimed hundreds of lives. Those are top stories. Stay with us. Health authorities in Cameroon's far north region are racing to contain a cholera outbreak as the rainy season raises the risk of further infections, while emergency response teams have moved quickly to treat patients and strengthen surveillance. Officials warn that poor sanitation, contaminated water and displacement continue to fuel the spread of the disease. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more.
The situation on the ground remains fragile, with health authorities intensifying efforts to contain the cholera outbreak in Fotokol and across the rest of Cameroon's far north region. Medical teams and community health workers are treating patients, tracking new infections and strengthening surveillance to prevent further transmission. But the resurgence reflects deeper challenges, including poor access to clean water, inadequate sanitation and the impact of a prolonged humanitarian crisis. Officials say early preparedness measures helped limit the outbreak's initial spread. A surveillance system activated before the start of the rainy season enabled health teams to quickly detect the first cases and launch a response in the affected communities. The focus has now shifted to prevention. Public health teams are scaling up hygiene and awareness campaigns, promoting hand washing, safe water practices, and early reporting of suspected cases to reduce the risk of further infections.
La région de l'extrême nord a toujours connu des petites ou alors des grandes épidémies à l'approche de.
The far north region has always experienced small or large breakout before the rainy season starts. Because of this, health districts and medical centers are already prepared for potential cholera cases. This tracking system is already in place, and now we have confirmed cases. We are simply reinforcing our actions. This means our community workers are already on the ground to raise awareness again and look for new cases. In the health centers, the staff is ready to receive and treat the patients. The most important thing is for the population to know that cholera is there, it's real, and they must adopt preventive measures.
Il y a des mesures de prévention qu'il faudra adopter et absolument pour que on ne soit pas dans une grosse propagation.
Even so, the number of confirmed cases continues to raise concern, highlighting the vulnerability of communities already facing multiple humanitarian pressures.
Nous avons quelques cas où
we have few cases, especially around 60, and 5 among are dead.
Enregistré 5 décès.
Health experts say contaminated water, poor sanitation and seasonal flooding have created conditions for the disease to spread, with displacement and overcrowding further increasing the risk.
It comes down to basic hygiene measures, because cholera is a problem of basic hygiene. The first thing is to drink clean water. The second thing is hand washing routine. Wash food throughout before eating it, and cook well before eating. Finally, maintain a clean environment and use latrine for defecation.
Des aliments propres qu'on a bien lavés et la cuisson à chaud. Dans les districts, les formations sanitaires sont déjà.
Everything comes down to basic hygiene measures, because cholera is a problem of basic hygiene. The first thing is to drink clean water. The second thing is hand washing routine.
As the rainy season gathers pace, health authorities warn that the window to prevent a wider public health emergency is narrowing. For families across the affected communities, the threat now extends beyond insecurity to the water they drink and the diseases it may carry.
And in the same vein, Cameroon is launching a nationwide vaccination campaign to keep polio at bay. After going more than a year without recording a case, health authorities say the exercise that starts on July 9 is aimed at protecting children and preventing the virus from re-entering the country. Immaculate Fogwe once more has details.
A year after recording its last case of polio, the Littoral region remains on alert. Health officials warn that, despite the absence of recent infections, the region's strategic location continues to expose it to risk of imported cases.
We've noticed that in Cameroon and in the Littoral region in particular, we have not had any case of polio for the past 12 months. But when you look at the geographical location of the Littoral region, you realize that we are not, the risk of importation of a polio case from neighboring countries is not minimal.
As part of efforts to keep Cameroon polio-free, the Ministry of Public Health would organize a Child and Maternal Health and Nutrition Action Week from July 9 to the 12th nationwide. The exercise will run alongside the second round of local polio vaccination days in the Adamawa, Center, East, Far North, Littoral and North regions.
The main objective is that we should be able to give information to parents before teams can pass around their households, give information to at least 100%, 95% of parents. Secondly, we should be able to give the oral polio vaccine to children aged 0 to 59 months, 100% of those children. We should be able to give vitamin A to children aged 1 to 5 years, that's 12 months to 59 months.
Beyond polio, the campaign will strengthen surveillance for other vaccine-preventable diseases, including measles, yellow fever, and neonatal tetanus. The information was shared during a briefing for media professionals at the Littoral Regional Delegation of Public Health. Polio is a highly infectious disease caused by the polio virus. Transmitted through contaminated food and water, it can result in irreversible paralysis. They stress that maintaining high vaccination coverage remains the most effective way to protect children and prevent the disease from resurfacing.
Political activist Jacques-Bertrand Mang remains in custody after the rejection of his request for bail as his lawyers continue to challenge what they describe as a politically motivated prosecution. The case, which has drawn growing attention, is due back in court on July 10, 2026. Innocent has a report.
Political activist Jacques-Bertrand Mang prepares to spend another night at the New Bell Central Prison after the Bonanjo Court of First Instance on Thursday denied his bail request and adjourned the case to July 10.
A decision will certainly be taken on that day regarding the bail. We are not yet at the stage of debate. We are still at the stage where we are asking that they should first of all grant him the bail.
Mang is being prosecuted on charges of assaulting a public official, obstructing the functioning of a public service, and the defamation on social media.
He went down to Upe to carry out a small discussion with the youth of Upe. During that particular meeting, as he usually does, he takes videos and he posts them on his page on Facebook. A policeman came and took his phone and hit the phone on the floor. So his phone got back. There were some conflicts between them and arguments, and at the end of the day, he was being arrested there. Jacques-Bertrand Mang, in this case, he's not a victim. He's not supposed to be behind bars. Instead, we have a police officer who has violated his rights, destroyed his phone, and did not respect the law.
Lead counsel Barrister Asong Michael Kumba says the case is politically motivated, arguing that
we know that anybody who tries to stand against a particular regime, as that which we know here is authoritarian, certainly there should be mechanisms that will be put in place to shut him down. My client, Mr. Jacques-Bertrand Mang, has been standing against this regime, condemning them for their poor governance. Jacques-Bertrand Mang has been fighting corruption, even homosexuality.
The lawyer also questions the speed of the judicial process He described the pace as highly unusual and suggested it raises concerns about possible external influence on the case.
In less than 48 hours, that makes no sense. I've never seen that in Cameroon. I've never seen such an expedition that has been so quick. And that is where I start raising questions on if what is being held against Jacques Bertrand Mang is not used as a device to crush him. If his detractors, who are certainly part of this regime, which he condemns all the time, if they are not using it to actually shut him down.
The defense says the pace of the proceedings raises serious questions about due process, arguing that investigators had more time under Cameroonian law to handle the case.
Est-ce que vous pouvez me laisser sortir? Non, je suis en prison. Non, c'est pas la prison. Je suis en prison, laissez-moi sortir.
Among the charges leveled against activist Jacques Bertrand Mang are attack on an officer of the law, a law enforcement officer, disruption of public service, and defamation online. On to something else now. Relief for mobile money agents and bank customers in the city of Douala. Police say they have taken down 3 gangs that had been terrorizing economic operators of businessmen and women in the city. Weapons recovered and arrest made in a coordinated anti-crime operation. For me, Armstrong Sander. Now, fires in greater details. All right, we'll be coming back to this in subsequently. We'll be coming back to that report subsequently. Now, Cameroon's minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Asomo, has inaugurated a new base for the Rapid Intervention Battalion in Douala. He says the construction of the base marks a major step in strengthening maritime security along the country's coastline. The facility brings together operational, naval, and logistical units to improve response times and coordination. The base was established in response to growing security threats in the Gulf of Guinea, including piracy, kidnappings, attack on commercial vessels, and assault on military positions that intensified after Cameroon regained sovereignty over the Bakassi Peninsula, and military officials said the new infrastructure will enhance the protection of the port of Douala, secure economic and maritime activities, and safeguard national and foreign investments. Authorities have also called on residents and businesses to work closely with security forces, stressing that intelligence sharing remains vital in the fight against maritime crime. Now let's take a listen to the minister delegate at the presidency in charge of defense, Joseph Betty Asomo.
And steadfast in the commitment to strengthening the operational capacities of our defense and security forces. The infrastructure we are inaugurating today is a clear and compelling illustration of that commitment. Ladies and gentlemen, as has just been recalled, the history of the Rapid Intervention Battalion's presence in Douala is closely linked to the security challenges that emerged in the Gulf of Guinea following the transfer of the Bakassi Peninsula to the state of Cameroon. Faced with the rise in maritime piracy, kidnappings, attacks, and other unlawful acts challenging state authority at sea and threatening merchant vessels, as well as our country's strategic economic installations, the military high command took the appropriate measures to safeguard national sovereignty and protect the vital interests of our country.
You're listening there to the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic of Cameroon in charge of defense, Joseph Betia Somo. Now, out of the country, the World Health Organization has said that the trial of two potential treatments for the Bundi Guyo species of Ebola behind the deadly outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo began in the country on Thursday. That's yesterday. There are no approved vaccines or treatments for the rare strain which has been spreading in the northeastern province of the Democratic Republic of Congo. There have been 1,406 confirmed cases and 438 confirmed deaths in the Democratic Republic of Congo, while 208 people have recovered from the virus, according to figures from the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus told reporters that the clinical trial of the two therapeutics began with the enrollment of the first patient. The trial is evaluating the monoclonal antibody, and of course it is expected to help in solving that health problem in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And that's it for the first part of this newscast. Talking Point comes up next. Thank you for staying with us in Talking Points. Our guest today is a tech expert, and we are receiving our guest who is joining us today. Frederic TCHEULEU is an expert in technology. Thank you for joining us today. First question to you, Frederic. As a tech expert, what do you think about artificial intelligence?
Oh, that's the most friendly question actually everywhere in the world. What do I think about artificial intelligence? I think AI intelligence is the more recent revolution the world is facing. Is a real revolution, is changing everything. AI is coming to drastically transform the world, the way we produce in factories, the way we educate people, the way we cure people, the healthcare industry, education, healthcare, governance. AI is coming to transform everything. So it's the latest and the greatest revolution from my point of view, the world had ever encountered.
Tell us more about the impact of artificial intelligence in terms of efficiency, time management, and productivity.
Talking about revolution, as you know, the world had been, for now, the entire world had faced 4 major revolutions. And each revolution is drastically changing everything in the world. You had the agricultural revolution, where the world had decided to move from shift from hunting and gathering to farming. And now that's why you are having, because people started by thinking how to feed themselves. And that's a great problem in the world. That revolution had changed that. You had the industrial revolution, where we were thinking to produce more, having more factories, more productive, and that was one of the greatest ones. And recently, you had the electricity revolution, where you started producing electricity to bring it into home and industry to push the factories to produce more. And lately, like the early 1990 and 2000, you have had the internet or digital revolution. Most of this revolution had drastically changed the world. You remind when before internet, you can't even imagine. Some people in the early generation cannot even imagine how was the world before internet and computers, phone, and so on. So that revolution, everything is changing the world entirely. And now we are at what we call the AI revolution, that we can call the intelligence revolution, because it's the revolution coming to push, to to scale all the other innovation before. Now, how we are producing into industry is now powered by AI, and by using AI, your industry can achieve 20 times, 100 times more. Healthcare, how can you cure, what do you cure people? The way you diagnose a disease today is 65 times more efficient, more affordable than before. The healthcare is totally changing into AI. Education, same thing.
So, what is your understanding of the school of thought suggesting that artificial intelligence is making humans more and more lazy, especially in concerning the wrong usage of artificial intelligence?
Okay, the truth is that everywhere in the world, AI is going to take over some of the jobs. That's something true. And but in the same time, you have so many new jobs created every day due to AI. The people studying, the young people studying now, are studying for some job which never exists, for some jobs just which are going to, sometimes their jobs, their career is going to be into things that are not even, that we don't even know today. And that's what AI is bringing. AI, especially for Africa, is really the way to create millions and millions of new jobs. We do have this concern of today. One thing that AI really consumes is data, right? And today, Africa needs to put effort to handle better the data we are generating. You need to digitalize most of the thing, and that new jobs. When you are going to a court, or you are going to in a lawyer office, or when you are going to your doctor's clinics, you are going to see so many documents, so many things which need to be digitalized. That's new jobs for Africa. When you are a farmer, imagine that you have some 1-2 hectares. You have the possibility to extend it to 20,000 more and be producing more. If you were producing a certain quantity in a small place, with AI today, you can produce 10 times more. So that means feeding more people, that means curing people more easily, that means creating really new jobs. It's true that some jobs, which were, if you were just an addition, for example, me managing a company, if you were just an assistant, putting some information together to present it to me, AI is going to replace you. That 100%.
But there is an issue about artificial intelligence allegedly reducing the thinking and creative capacity of humans. Is that true?
When we are talking about having tools, having the power to push your brain to produce 1,000 times more, it's mostly that you are catalyzing your creative capability. Imagine that we are doing this meeting. After that, we need to edit this video. We need to do this thing, for example, to keep it or share it in various other formats. You need many people to do that. And with a result, to have a result which is not at the quality that you are expecting. As far as you know the quality you want to have, you can use AI to reach that quality, to deliver that output in no time. That's you. If you are a little bit creative, if you have that capability to think what you need, to know where you want to go, and a little bit to know the process, you are going to be more creative. For me, as AI is coming, is actually, you are almost saying coming. AI is there. You need to deal with it. AI is there, no matter the industry. For today, as you are able to produce more, you just need to focus more on human. Because for me, AI is coming to make us be more human, focus on humanity. I need to, if I'm a doctor, I need to spend more time with you, the patient, than to rethink, analyze, try to understand your result and so on. AI will help me to do that, but I will focus on you. If I'm producing like chips or anything like food or I'm being poultry, I need to focus on how people find my product. You understand? What do they think? What's the impact of my product on these people? But the part really for the production, optimizing the production, I will use AI to optimize that. So AI, if you are using it right, you are going to be more creative and you are going to be more focused on human. You are going to be more focused on the people. That's what we are telling to our students, and that's why they are doing every day. They are using AI to solve our day-to-day problem. And it's, garbage, healthcare, education, fitness, well-being. They are using AI every day to do that. And that's why tomorrow, yes, Friday, tomorrow, we are going to have a show showing to people, to parents, what they are doing with AI and what they are able to produce. Starting at year 1, they are producing a lot of things, impacting our direct day-to-day life. That's why if people are available, can come to see that tomorrow. And you are going to see that AI is helping to be more attentive to people, to help them to have a better well-being. And that's what AI is bringing.
Now, in Cameroon and several parts of Africa, we're still quite behind in terms of computer knowledge, even in schools. Higher institutions of learning, talk less of secondary and primary schools, pupils, students are still being taught computer knowledge without the necessary equipment. So how can artificial intelligence be promoted in schools from primary to higher institutions of learning like your school, Seven International University?
Coming from a technical background, we have been studying, learning how to code, doing C, Java, spending night and night to produce 1,000 lines of code. Today, AI is helping us to do that more efficiently. And then from day 1 at SIU, at Seven International University, we are pushing students into this thing. Because as the technology is no more a problem, because technology today, we have exam in Africa, we have access to the same technology as someone sitting in Stanford, Berkeley University, or wherever in the world. Our students we are making them understand that you have that capability, and then you need to understand the people around you, and you need to demonstrate us that you are using that augmented intelligence to solve this problem. And it's starting from day 1 when they start studying. And that's why we are pushing them, because that's the real way to use AI. How are you using this power, which is crazy, to solve people's problems? And if you have time, spend some time with the student, you are going to see what they are doing. They are thinking, using their brain, working very hard, but they have a companion, they have the tools, they will tell you that it's a kind of help for them to go far, more beyond everything they can do. And that's starting at year 1, and the entire studying life cycle, they are using AI.
All right. What is your understanding? What is your reading of the fact that Africa is still lacking behind, and how can the continent adapt faster to the fast pace of technological evolution?
That's an evolution. We are still slave, or we are into we are a colony, and Africa has made so many revolutions. Today, AI is there. We have access to the digital world, we have access to the internet, but unfortunately, most people in Africa are using AI, as I said before, as a toy. We are using it to write messages just to push our laziness. That's the fact. People are thinking that they don't have to use their brain. They need to give the work to the AI and just take that result, give it to apply it in whatever they need to do. AI should be really used to optimize everything that we are doing. We need to train people better. We need to educate them. You have some really good initiatives in Africa. You have some school in South Africa helping, pushing. You have our mathematician. We have one of the best mathematicians of the world actually lecturing in South Africa. And AI is based on mathematics. And we need to push people to study more mathematics, to understand how AI is working, and we need to build our own agent. We need to learn how to educate our model on our data so that we use the same power on our real challenges. Africa is having far more challenge than every other place in the world. And AI is really for us. And we need to use it as what it should be. It's like a nuclear weapon. And we can't be just playing with that nuclear weapon. I don't know if you understand what I mean. We need to use AI to localize our model, to have our own server, to train it there. And today we have everything for that. We have company hosting server in Africa. We don't need internet to use AI at all. No. You have a local network. You can all have your own server and educate that agent, educate the LLM to produce whatever you want to use. Lawyers, doctors, industry, government, they can use AI. Ministry, but we need coordination. We need coordination because AI, as we are using data to optimize the way AI thinks, we need coordination to avoid duplication and losing time and energy. That's what Africa needs. And coordination has never been the real strength of Africa. That is time to change that today.
Frederic TCHEULEU is a tech expert, the architect of Africa's technological vanguard, co-founder and chairman of 7 International University here in Douala. Thank you for joining us in this conversation today. That's it for today's edition of the 6 p.m. Primetime Newscast over Equinoxe Television. Thank you so much for staying with us. Equinoxe will be coming up at 7 p.m. with Vanguard and his guests. Do have a really pleasant weekend in the company of our programs. God bless Cameroon. God bless Africa. Goodbye.